Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start with, I'm going to get rid of all this. Okay, so you're going to get an email next Thursday from your ATRT that gives you links to all of the tests as well as the link to the Google Sheet. So what I'm going to do, each link, I'm going to open it. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to rename it because this is what the kids are going to receive. So you want to make sure that you're naming it something that they know. Probably something like grade 3 language booklet 1, grade 3 language booklet 2. For the sake of tonight, I'm just going to call them booklet 1 and booklet 2. Again, I apologize for starting late tonight. I'm hoping that if you have any questions, you're writing them down and you can either email me the questions or we can go into the chat afterwards. Booklet 3. Okay, so now I've got, remember though, if you're doing all of the tests on assistive tech, using assistive tech, you're gonna have 6 booklets up here, okay? Depending on how many booklets you're using. If you're not doing math, you're gonna have 4. But for today, I'm just doing 3, okay? Make sure you're in Chrome, very, very important. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we've got our booklets up here ready to input into the Google Sheet. I'm gonna click make a copy of the Google Sheet. Make a copy. Here's our wonderful Google Sheet that we're gonna be using today. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably rename it because this is something that I'm gonna have in my drive. I might call it Holt Webinar 2019, whatever you want to call it. I have my teachers call it Practice May 9th because then they're gonna know what day it is that, what spreadsheet the day is from, and then when they're done, they can just delete it or do whatever they want with it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go into our booklets. Booklet number 1, all Google Docs, all documents have a code up here. Okay, we are going to grab the code after the slash and before this slash here. Okay, make sure that the slashes are not inside this code. We are going to click Control C. We are going to go to the spreadsheet and we are going to paste it where it says book 1. We are now going to go to book 2. I can now erase that. I am now in book 2. I am going to copy the code after the D. This is my second booklet, so it's got slightly different code here. Again, I'm not grabbing the slashes. It will not work if you have the slashes inside the code, and I'm going to paste it there. Okay, remember on the day of you're going to be doing this 6 times. For tonight we're only doing it 3. I am going to copy this and I am pasting. Perfect. Okay, now we need to add our students, and I am going to be adding Erica. Very, very important. You need to make sure you are adding the @pdsb.net. If you do not add the @pdsb.net, again, it will not be sent. And think of it as it's going to their drive, so they need their pdsb.net address. It's not just their student number. So now we've got all of your students in here. Okay, I want you to pretend that there's way more than 1, maybe 5 or 10. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to add-ons. We're going to click on EQAO file, copy version 2, and then open menu. This will always come up. Each time that you do open the add-on, this will come up. Click on your number. Scroll down, click on allow. and you'll see this wonderful little EQAO copy tool will pop up. This is where it gets fun. So the way I look at it is I'm going to work my way down this EQAO copy tool. Okay, so I've got my URL or my code here under beside book 1, 2, 3. When you're doing 4, 5, 6, if you have 6 booklets, you're going to be copying the code in here. I've got all of my students here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click check files. When I click check files, the names of my booklet is going to come up next to it. So I want you to make sure once you click check files, check to make sure that these are the booklets that you want. So for book 1, it matches exactly what you want, okay? Once you've done that, you can then click copy book 1. When you click copy book 1, it's going to be asking you to name the folder. This is going to be the folder where all of your students' tests are going to go. So I would probably want to call it something like EQAO Final Folder 2019. For tonight, I'm going to just call it EQAO May 9th. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. Again, this is where all of the booklets are going to go, and we can look into that afterwards. You can now see my name of my folder is here. My folder location is there. That's in my drive. And there's that code that I was talking about. This is the code for that actual folder. As you can also see, now what has happened is this has come up as saying false. What this means is that at this point in time, you have copied the test, book 1, for the students that are listed here, but they do not have access to it yet. If I copy book 2, book 2 will get shared with the students. If I copy book 3 will get shared with the students, but not shared in the sense that they actually have it in their drive yet. It's available for them. If it says false, they do not have access to it. So I want you to imagine when you are done inputting all of your students here and all of your books here, you're going to have a pretty full Google Sheet. And this is where you can go home for the weekend and enjoy your long weekend because you've done all of the work before. I'm asking my teachers to either, it depends, of course, of when you start your EQAO, but a lot of my schools are starting on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm telling them that it's a good idea to get this all done on the weekend. And you don't have to worry about the kids having access because this says false. Now, when the kids come in to write their tests, you can share it in 2 different ways. So if they're writing book 1, whatever this booklet is, language booklet 1, if you want to share the booklet with everybody at once, you're going to click Share 1. If you click Share 1, all of this line will turn to true. At this point in time, Erica, my student, has access to booklet 1, and she can go to either her Gmail through her student number, or she can go to Shared with Me in her drive, and she can access the test. The test will be called Booklet 1, and it will be the name of your teacher. So it'll say Holt, and then it'll say Booklet 1, and then it will say the name of the student. So another way that you can give access to the students, depending on how you like to do it, is you can click inside the box. You can type in the word true, and click outside of the box. If you see yellow, what that means is that you just need to click Update Sharing. So if I click Update Sharing, it has now turned green, which is true. Now remember, this is book 2, so this would be in the afternoon or the next day. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. When you are done book 1, okay, you can do the same thing as when you shared it. If you want to remove it from everyone at once, all you need to do is click Remove 1, and it will go to false. If you want to remove each one individually, You just type in the word false, click outside the box. That's very important. It turns yellow. Yellow means click on update sharing. So if you just click on update sharing, it turns white. Now I want you to imagine having a very full spreadsheet, and at the end of all of your EQA, everyone's done, and everyone, it says false and it's white, which is what you want. However, you don't know if it's false and white because they're done the test, or is it false and white because they were absent. So I'm going to show you a quick little way to kind of ensure that you know without having to write down names on a little sticky or on a piece of paper. If Erica is away for book 1, I just click in, I write absent, I click outside the box, I click update sharing, and Erica will be, this will be orange and absent. She will not have access to the test, but it won't be white and say false. So if you can imagine at the end of your EQAO, each time a student is absent, they will show up as orange and they won't have access to the test until, of course, they come back in. They say, I'm ready to write book 1 now. You click inside the box, you type in true, and you click on update sharing, and there you go. Erica now has access to book 1. I hope that explains that portion of it. So there's 2 ways. You can either do them all at once, or you can do one at a time. A lot of teachers are choosing to share all at once, but take away access one at a time, unless they all have their kids writing at the same time in the room and they are reading a book afterwards. And then when all of the students get up and leave the room, then they can remove one all at once. Okay, so I hope that people are following along. Erica, can you let me know if everything is going okay in terms of questions? One thing I do also want to point out is, let's say, for example, you've already copied book 1. All of your students are in here, and then you forgot about a student that you didn't add to the spreadsheet before you clicked copy. If you're going to add a student after the fact, let's say, for example, you're adding Lorraine here. Okay, and there's my P number, or my student number. Okay, so I cannot just click share 1 at this point. I need to click copy book 1 and then share 1. And if you think about it, it makes sense because I don't have anything copied yet to be able to share with them. So just make sure that that's only when you've already done the spreadsheet, all of your students are in, they're ready to write EQAO, you're good to go, and then someone walks in at the last minute. Okay, just make sure once you've clicked copy book 1, make sure all of your students are in there already, or copy book 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, remember, you're going to be copying each one of these books for every book that you have, and then that will populate your spreadsheet. Okay, so that explains how to hand out the test and how to take away the test. Now let's go into the drive. And we can see what your drive looks like. So as you can see here, here's my folder. This is where all of my tests are going to be. If I click in there, there are my tests. When the students are done their test, all they need to do is exit out and log out of their Chromebook. Okay. For you, you're going to have access to the tests. If you are printing them, there's 2 ways to print. You can either print from your Chromebook, or if your Chromebooks are not set up to print, then you can go into this folder and you can print straight from here. What I've suggested that my teachers do is within this big giant folder, you can create smaller folders. Day 1, booklet 1. Especially if you're printing, and you can decide when to print, especially if you're doing that printing. I just created a folder by clicking on plus and new folder. And now I'm just going to drag all of these booklets in here at the end of day 1. And I can decide when I'm going to print them. I can print them at the end of day 1, or I can print them at the end of EQAO, however you like to do it. Remember, you only have to print if the students are writing in it or using their assistive technology to write. To share this, so if the students have written and you have your folder, when EQAO is done and you're ready to share the folder, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the actual folder that's going to be full of your tests, and you're going to click on share. At this point in time, you're going to type in the name of your administrator, first and last name. Let's pretend my administrator is Erica. I'm going to click on her name here, and then I'm going to click send. What that will do is it will send, it will share this folder with Erica, my administrator. And then at that point, after it's been shared, after you know she has it, if you would like to get rid of it out of your drive, all you need to do is right click and click on, right click and then click on remove. At that point, all of the tests will be out of your drive. Erica, is there anything else that you are thinking that I need to go over? I think the most important thing to remember is that if it is yellow, it means you need to update sharing. One thing I do want to talk about, I'll see if Erica has anything else. If for some reason I have a slash here, I have the student number wrong, you could end up with a big red error. Okay, don't panic if you get that. Okay, all you need to do is refreshing after you correct the error, refresh, and then go through the process again, and it should correct the error. Really try hard not to add any slashes. You can see if you have any slashes by clicking here, and you can see this code. And you can obviously see that it worked because I don't have any errors. But again, very important to be patient. If this Google Sheet had 30 kids in it, it would take probably up to 5 minutes to populate true. At the end of the whole EQAO period, do we leave the student as absent or change to false? Oh, great question. Great question, Marianne. If they're absent and they never did write it, so let's say, for example, Erica was absent. So we're going to change this to absent. Okay, we are going to leave her as absent if she never did write the test, because we want to make sure she stays absent, because your makeup day might not be until you're done all of your tests. So you might not be doing a makeup day until every single one of these books is done. And you're going to want to make sure that you still know that Erica has not done the test. So this may stay absent for a few days. And then when Erica's ready to write it, you go in and you type true. The only time you're going to actually be typing in false is after they have written it and you're taking away their access. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? Just let Erica know over the assistive technology page. If there's anything you want me to go over again, please ask. I'm here. I can be here for a while if you need me to. Again, I'm really, really sorry about the mix-up, or my internet was being funny tonight at home, and I couldn't get the stream to work. Again, be really, really patient here. Don't keep clicking copy book 1 because you don't see anything. Click it and wait. It sometimes takes a few minutes. If you need me to go over it again, create it again, do any of the steps again, just let me know, and I can do that again for you. Just waiting to see if I have any questions. Can more than one person have access to making changes? Oh, great question, Monica. I'm so glad you asked that. So you cannot share this document, okay? It will not work if you share it. So if for some reason you are away, what I've been telling my teachers is try not to be away. But if you are away, you cannot share this with another teacher in your school. What they will have to do is log in as you and use your Google Sheet. So no other people can have access to this Google Sheet and make changes unless they are logged in as you. And now that we're actually saying that, there was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, now I can't remember what it was. Shoot. Okay, so just make sure that you don't share it. Oh, I know what I was going to say is an easy way to do lots of practices is to, and the more you practice doing the Google Sheet, obviously the better you're going to be. And a lot of my teachers are saying once they do it 2 or 3 times, it actually really does become natural. Just so you know, you do not need to be typing in student numbers each day, each new Google Sheet. All you need to do here is cover this up, highlight it, do a Control-C, and then if you go back to the email with the link in it, this is now going to be a brand new Google Sheet. My next day, I'm starting again and I'm doing another practice with my kids because I want to make sure I get lots of practice. I just go here. See, I got to be patient here. It's working. Google sometimes takes a while. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to click Control-V, and there we go. All of my students that were in my last Google Sheet are now copied and pasted into this Google Sheet, and I can go back and I can practice again by putting in this code into my sheet, getting the add-on. Now remember, every time you do a Google Sheet, it's going to be asking you to create, it's going to ask you to go through this again, and then it's going to ask you to create a folder. So every Google Sheet has a folder, okay? Remember, you're going to have one Google Sheet for the entire EQAO, unless you have grade 3 and grade 6. If you have grade 3 and grade 6, hopefully you have 2 different people with 2 different sheets. But even if it's you that's doing both sheets, I would strongly recommend using 2, because right here we only have room for 6. I'm just going to see if we have any more questions. Again, I'm just going to go through this quickly. We're going to check files. Once we click check files, the name of the booklet will come up. I now copy book 1. It's going to ask me for the folder, second folder. This comes up, and then this eventually will say false. There we go. And then again, you can either share one so that everybody has it, or you can do it one at a time. Any other questions? I would like to practice from home tonight. Can I do that? Absolutely, Monica. Email me. What I will do, so if you email me, what I'll do is I will forward you this email that I forwarded to myself for tonight. So if you email me tonight, Lorraine, LORRAINE, .holt, HOLT, at plsb.com. If you email me right after this session, what I'll do is I'll forward you this exact email, and so you'll have these exact links and you can practice tonight by doing that. And I can hang around my computer and ask any questions, answer any questions over email if you like. I was told it starts at 8. Will I be able to watch it later? Oh, I'm sorry, just me. I don't know. Erica, can you answer that? Because I know with our webinars, we can watch it afterwards. I'm going to let Erica answer that question. I'm not sure if you can watch it later or not. I can go through it again if you want. If you can just quickly tell me, just me, I don't mind going through it again. If you want me to, just let me know, and it's no problem at all. Any other questions here? Erica says it will be posted, so no worries there. Okay, so yes, it will be posted. So yes, if anybody wants me to email them this link, just send me a quick email and I'll forward it to them. And this, what I was saying at the beginning is this is exactly like the email. It's going to have a lot more words to it because your ATRT is going to say, hey, you know, here are all the EQAO tests and here are the links. And by the way, we decided as a team to send them to your PLSB, not your PDSB. So it's not going to be in Gmail. It's going to be in your regular email. So yeah, just send me an email and I will send that link or that email to you. Okay, last couple of minutes for any questions. I'm going to make sure I look into the technical glitch that happened to make sure that doesn't happen again, because I love this way of learning. And I think it's a fantastic way to be able to go online and learn together as I'm sharing my screen. And we look forward to doing a lot more webinars in the future where you can just sit at home with your cup of tea and not have to go to the board office to learn. So if you do like this style of learning, please let us know, because this kind of feedback is really welcomed, because we want to make sure that that you all have access to PD that you don't necessarily need to drive to. Okay, so Erica, just let me know if there's any more questions. Again, here I'm going to show you how you can just remove it. Once I share it with my administrator, I can then just right click on it and remove it, and it will be removed from my drive. Okay, I have not heard from Erica, so I am thinking that we are done for tonight. Again, thank you for your patience. Email me if you have any questions, Lorraine, LORRAINE.Holt, HOLT, @plsb.com. I can email you that practice email that I created today for tonight. And I think that's it. So thanks, everyone, and hope to see you at the next webinar. Erica?